Top stories today on the Winn Tv News. Supervisor of Elections issues information pertaining to the upcoming election. Concerns raised about the recently issued voters list. And a battle rages for Central Bastille. I'm Jamie Morris, and welcome to the Winn Tv News for February 10th, 2015. If you are entitled to vote in Monday's general election, but registered after November 30th last year, you won't be eligible to cast your ballot. That explanation from Supervisor of Elections, Wingrove George.
Any person who registered after November 30th, 2014 will not be eligible to vote in the February 16 general elections. It is therefore suggested that voters should examine the registers to make sure that their names are listed before going to the poll. This simple exercise of examining the register of voters could serve to avoid disappointment on polling day.
The Electoral Office has confirmed that 22 candidates were nominated on Friday to contest the St. Kitts and Nevis general election on Monday, February 16. According to Supervisor of Elections George, the 22 belong to 5 political parties. They are contesting 11 electoral districts, 8 on St. Kitts and 3 on Nevis. The St. Kitts Labour Party is contesting all 8 seats on St. Kitts, the People's Action Movement 6 and the People's Labour Party 2. The 3 seats in Nevis are being contested by rivals, the Concerned Citizens Movement and the Nevis Reformation Party. The symbol for the Labour Party is the hand, the People's Action Movement the hat, the People's Labour Party the saw, the Nevis Reformation Party the bottle, and the Concerned Citizens Movement the hammer. While the campaign for the elections just days away now can be said to be largely on track, the Privy Council is scheduled to hear an appeal on boundary changes on Wednesday. Prime Minister Denzil Douglas made reference to that matter at a public meeting Monday night while hurling criticism at the opposition alliance Team Unity. Dr. Douglas said that as far as he is concerned, the boundaries have been changed.
Still trying desperately to fool the people of this country. Want you to believe that up to now the boundaries ain't changed. But who gonna change them back? Who gonna change them back? Tell me who gonna change them back? The boundaries have been changed, but they can't take it.
Central Bastille appears to be a battleground constituency for both sides in this election. Winn TV's Andre Huey takes a closer look at the battle for constituency number 2.
Central Bastille appears to be a battleground constituency for both sides in this election. That is evident by how both parties are heavily campaigning in the community. Most recently, the opposition Team Unity on Market Street, Bastille, Monday night. 2 former members of parliament who were bitter political opponents both endorsed the Unity candidate for Central Bastille, Jonelle Powell. Former Prime Minister Sir Kennedy Simmons and former Labour Party Government Minister Dwyer Astafan, who were both fierce political competitors for the constituency in previous elections, expressed confidence in Powell. The incumbent Labour Party MP, Marcella Liburd, has been on the offence against her opponent, political newbie Jonelle Powell. Ms. Liburd last week declined a demand for a political debate with Powell in the constituency scheduled for Monday, instead tearing the invitation letter apart and mailing it back to him. On Monday night, Sir Kennedy came to Powell's defence. Former Labour MP Dwyer Astafan, who previously endorsed Powell, dismissed comments from Ms. Liburd that Powell is an aristocrat. Ms. Liburd described Jonelle Powell as the face of the plantocracy and suggested he's not acquainted with the suffering of poor people.
With the mother to try to see if they could buy out Central Bastille people. But Central Bastille people will not be bought. He is the face of the plantocracy. He is the face of the plantocracy. Money and beer flowing in Central Bastille. But in spite of all of that, they will get a licking.
In response, Mr. Powell gave plastic gold spoons to the supporters as a jab at Libur's inference that he was born in a privileged family.
They say born with a golden spoon in my mouth. I have my golden spoon here tonight. And I will ensure that as your representative, that your children will have an opportunity to have a golden spoon in their mouth tonight. And so I ask my team to share out these golden spoons to the people of Central Bastille as a symbol that better days are coming for the people of this constituency.
Coming up, concerns raised about the voters list.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Winn FM.
Winn FM's mission is to contribute meaningfully to the information, awareness, and the development of our nation and the region through the building of educated and informed communities. Winn FM faces the issues squarely, without shying away from controversy, while striving continuously to provide balanced, responsible reporting.
Better music, better talk, better radio. 98.9 Winn FM.
Welcome back. The voters list prepared on the pre-January 16th boundaries contain no new registrations in 2014 in constituency number 4, according to Lindsey Grant, the People's Action Movement candidate for the area.
When one looks at the list as formulated on the old boundaries, the list presented to us is the same list that was given to us as of December 31st, 2013, which means that the old list, as they have just given us, does not include any new voter for 2014 or transferred voter. And we are 4 or 5 days away from an election. And you know what the law is? The law is you can only vote if you're on a list.
With a pending appeal to the Privy Council that could affect which boundaries are used next Monday, the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal ordered last week that 2 lists be made available, one using the boundaries passed on January the 16th and one the boundaries that existed prior. Grant says even if the new boundaries are used, there is also an issue with that list. He's reporting that at least 200 plus people have been affected by the moving of names from one polling station to the next. Grant says there's little that can be done before the February 16th general elections. Messages left for the manager of the electoral office and the supervisor of elections were unreturned at news time Tuesday afternoon, when FM was unable to reach a Labour candidate for the constituency, Glenn Phillip.
Meanwhile, Tuesday afternoon, Nevis Concerned Citizens Movement had still not received its copies of the voters list.
The changes are profound. And I'm being bombarded with calls from constituents saying, where am I to vote? What polling station? Who am I voting for? These are very serious concerns. Am I on the voters list? Overseas voters are calling and saying they would like to come to exercise their franchise, and they're asking, can you check the list? We have no list to check.
CCM Deputy Leader and Leader of the Federal Opposition, Mr. Mark Brantley, says the situation makes it impossible for any sort of objection process to be properly conducted.
As a matter of law, a annual list that is published on or before the 31st of January each year, you then have 10 days, the parties and individuals, to scrutinize and make objections. We have now lost that 10-day window. What does that now mean? And so I see more and more legal problems arising. Not because there's anything wrong with the electoral law, but because those charged with administering the law are steadfast in their refusal to do what the law requires.
The order of the Court of Appeal last week speaks to the distribution of the 2 lists, and it says, depending on the decision of the Privy Council, will use the electoral officials will use the appropriate list for the purposes of election, subject to the normal procedure for objections.
Well, but that's the point, Tony. I mean, what could be the normal process of objection at this juncture when we have not got the list and we have lost the 10-day window? I mean, the law is very clear. The requirements of the law are very clear. And the supervisor has been advised, because the CCM has written, and I'm aware that members of Team Unity and Sinkis have written, pointing out the fact that he is in violation of the law. The Electoral Commission has been apprised. And I was very surprised to hear that a majority of the Electoral Commission was taking a view that no list can be produced because of the court order.
To end the Winn TV News, a look at the headlines. Concerns raised about the recently issued voters list, and the battle rages for Central Bastille. This has been the Winn TV News. I am Jamie Morris. Thank you for watching.